my name is Sean Close, and I am the Associate Club Director of the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, Taft Street location. And today we are going to do a fitness challenge. We are going to do a shoulder raise hold. So if you've been watching my workout videos, I've done a shoulder raise a couple of times, and it's just getting on your side with some sort of weight in your hand. I'm using two 16-ounce water bottles, and then you raise it like this and you come back down. Except today we are going to raise them up and hold them there as long as we can. So we're going to do that in 3, 2, 1, and go. Now I'm using a fairly light weight for my skill level because it was all I could find, but if you want to try something heavier, feel free. Just know that you are probably going to have to adjust your expectations for the time, because this is a movement that is increases in difficulty quite a bit the more weight you put on there. So like these water bottles probably weigh like 2 pounds at most, but if I try to do this with, say, 5 pounds, even though I'm only increasing it by 3 pounds, it doesn't seem like a lot. It makes it incredibly difficult. So the more you raise up in weight, the less time you're going to be able to do this pretty dramatically. Ooh. The other thing is you can do these lateral raises using bending at the elbows. But for something like this, you're going to want to do straight elbows all the way at your side, straight out. And especially if you're doing a hold like this, where you're holding it still, you're going to want to do both arms at the same time. If you're using a lateral raise where you're just doing reps, then you probably could get away with doing one side at a time, although it can be a little easier depending on the weight. I find with a lighter weight, it's a lot easier to do a lateral raise one arm at a time, but with heavier weight, I find that the symmetry of doing both at the same time a little easier. Whatever's more comfortable with you when you're doing them for reps, but if you're holding them like this, I would suggest doing both at the same time. Ooh, starting to feel it in my shoulders and my neck, which is where it's supposed to be feeling it. I am also feeling it in my elbows, but that's my elbow tendonitis acting up. So that's not unusual for me, but you're probably not feeling it in the elbows the same way I am. This is also exercise that's pretty good to hold in like your daily routine. If you don't want to do it for a bunch of reps, or you want to mix it up, then instead of doing reps for lateral raises, you can just do a hold. And I would say that about a 30-second hold is the equivalent of 10 reps. Obviously, the more weight you put on, the harder the hold's going to be, and I think that the hold becomes harder quicker than the reps. Oh, this sucks. I spent my entire weekend helping my grandparents out with their back porch. So I was in the hot sun hitting concrete with a sledgehammer for about 8 hours. So, my shoulders are pretty sore. So this was not a good thing to do immediately afterwards. Probably should have chose something else. Oh. Ooh. Ow. All right. That was the shoulder raise challenge. If yours was not as long as mine, that's okay. This is a difficult movement, especially for beginners, because it's not a natural movement. You don't do this movement a lot in your everyday life. So this is one that when you start working out and you haven't been working out, it's really hard for a lot of people. It's also an exercise that's just difficult in general. So, if you have to use a lighter weight, don't feel bad. When I do these for reps, I normally use a 20-pound weight or a 25-pound weight, and I've been working out for years and years and years. So don't feel bad if this is a movement that's hard for you at first. You will get stronger at it. You will get better. And what I was saying earlier is if you can kind of get, because of how difficult this is, you can get some weird in-betweens. So you'll get one where like these water bottles are super easy, but the next thing up that you have is super hard. So if you're in that kind of in-between, you can bend your elbows a little and kind of do that instead of this. And that's going to make it a lot easier. So you're going to have to adjust your weight accordingly. You might have to use like almost twice as much when you're doing this as opposed to that. But it can be really nice for kind of hitting that in-between weights that you would normally not be able to do. So that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe and continue your quarantine fitness jersey. Have a nice day.